showtime.
Hey. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. Absolutely fantastic for another episode of Monday Night Slot Car Live. We're going live with two of my member creators. Today with me, I have Chris from Southern Slot Racing, and I have Matt from Patriot Hobbies. What we're going to do today is sort of just go over a little bit of what we have coming up in our own schedules, and we'll talk a little bit about a few things that have been going on recently, and where we'll all be headed together. We'll talk about that towards the end. But before we get going, as usual, let's give everyone a moment to get in the room. Chris, anything you'd like to say to start the show off?
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me. Got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Got a video popping tomorrow, and it's a HO video. And then I've got working on some content with this 1/32 scale.
Awesome. So, Matt, you showed me something right before we went live.
The Batman?
The Batmobile, yeah. Let's have a look at that.
Okay. I'll check it out soon.
Oh, this is an absolutely fantastic looking car. They did a great job with this car. Oh, yeah. But the problem I note with this car is no Robin.
No Robin.
No Robin.
He's still in the bat cave.
Yeah, yeah. He's in the trunk.
Yeah, I don't know where he is.
This is moments after the ejection seat was used.
If I remember, I think it was Graham Dodsworth. He bought one of those Miatas, and he ripped the figure out of that and painted it and used it as Robin.
Right. Yeah, Robert, this is what we're calling the ultra maximum HO scale slot car.
Kind of large, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we don't like to
my
be
God.
limited.
So if anybody was sleeping, hasn't seen one of the recent videos lately, I've recently purchased, and not just myself, but Chris as well, has purchased this set. And we've both set them up. With this set comes the two cars, of course, the BMW and the Audi. They look absolutely fantastic. Let me see. Let's get rid of that. Let's have a look at this. So we go to this one, and then I go here.
I like that Bosch.
Yeah, it's a good looking car.
Yeah, they did a really great job. And like you were saying, Chris, and of course you'll talk a little bit about it more in a few moments. Very touchy cars in some ways.
Are they very responsive?
They are very responsive. I do believe when you squeeze the trigger down all at once, the tires do spin on the track. So very nice. So these are the two cars that came with the set. They are not digital, but they can be digitized. Just something new. This is sort of what I've been up to last little while. Let me just get this out of here now. Split the screen. How do we do? Oh, that's kind of an interesting scene. Hey, Matt has his mini racer with him.
Can you say hi?
Hi.
How you doing, guy?
You say Racing's life?
It's all right.
Racing life.
All right. Got to start him early. You need some. You need those people who stand around the table to make sure when your car falls off, it goes back on the track.
Yes.
That's where they start. Yeah, you get to be a track marshal. All right. Hey, not bad. I remembered to hit the go live button today, Mark. Notice that? Hey? Oh, yeah, I did hit the button. We are actually live today. Yeah. So, I guess the news on the 13th, which is next Monday, Shen RC will be joining me on Monday Night Slot Car Live. I've dangled the proverbial carrot long enough, and he's definitely coming on the show. So Steve from Shen RC and his sister will be with us next Monday. We'll talk slot car and stuff, but the catch is we're going live 1 hour early. So we'll be going live at 6 o'clock next week. It's just how the schedules work sometimes. And it'd be nice to hear what Steve has to say. He's got a lot of stuff going on, and some of the stuff has a lot to do with what's going on currently on this panel.
Yes.
So, whew, damn. Here we are, guys. All right, so let's start with Chris. Chris, what's coming on? What do you got coming up for your show in the next little bit? Your channel.
Tomorrow at 1, I've got a video popping off. It's about the Super International set, deep dive look at that and some things. And then out of that, I've got a tech tip. Actually learned something out of Mark's garage there, and about some magnets in the AFX cars. That'll be a tech tip video coming out. And then I've got some the Carrera 132 coming out after that, and a tech tip on these controllers. I don't know if you see it there.
Yes.
And how it's right out of the box. It went one lap and broke.
Is that Carrera?
Yes, this is the
Go.
Not the Go. This is the Evolution, the analog set.
Really?
Yeah. And so this, I'm trying to hide it here, but there's a little bar right here that slides up and down, and that's the plunger hooks onto that.
And it's missing what? It's just missing the metal piece.
It's when you put it together, it torques this little bar, this, I guess, the resistor bar, and it torques it just enough where it does, that little swipe does not make contact with that resistor pad.
Oh, right. Okay.
And the plunger has got a little spring, and it's got a little cup. I don't know if you can see it or not. There we go. Kind of like that. You can see it now. It's got a little cup, and that cup is what rides over that slider. And when you put it in, it just torques it just enough where it bends it, and it's either got a short or something in it, and it gets no power to the track.
So look at that, Clint. These are sort of our first interactions with this Carrera, for the first time for me, for the first time for Chris, and we're having an issue. It's nice to be able to work through it, and it's nice that Chris actually is able to solve the problem and figure out what's going wrong. And it's nice that we're all starting at the beginning and nobody's ahead of anybody else. We're all learning this together right now. I had no idea. I'm absolutely it's shitty that this happened to Chris, but by the sounds of it, it happened to the right guy. Sorry, Chris. It sounds like you know what you're doing.
So here's it popped out of the slide, but you can see the little slide now.
Right.
And the plunger hooks right onto the side here. And when this is the up position, and when you push the plunger down, it slides down. And this little metal contact, you can see it's got 3 little fingers, and those fingers are what's making contact. And there's enough pressure on it that it torques it just a little to the side. And this doesn't make good contact. So it's like a short.
Okay, we have a comment here by Mike Roth. Chris, can you quickly jump on this one? I know you have an answer for Mike here.
So I've got
The Falco makes that Genius 2 controller though.
So I've got
Yeah.
the
Digital.
DeFalco 505, and I've used my Ingenious connector here for my Carrera Go, and this is the same connector that goes into the Evolution set. But the thing is, I don't know I guess this is the wrong. Don't want to say ohmage, but when you just barely pull on that trigger in that car, scoots, and it's almost uncontrollable. So I want to ask Jim DeFalco, what's the difference between the 505 and the 305? What would make it more controllable? Because I'm sure it's something to do with this resistor pack up here somewhere. It's probably a little bit different.
And not just that, but with the digital sets, if we're going to run a DeFalco controller, it has to have a button on it.
Right.
And I've already emailed Jim about that because that's the first thing I thought of. Well, if I'm going to have a controller from Jim, I'm wondering if he makes a Carrera style controller because I haven't seen one yet.
The Ramjet and the True Speed, that's the two I've seen. The Ramjet is a little bit is a little bit cheaper, and True Speed comes from overseas. Well, there we go. I guarantee you. Now it's all coming together. That weld just broke, so I imagine if I resolder that and put it all back together, it'll work.
Oh no way! Oh man,
that's right.
The 305 comes with the same resistor network. Yeah.
You could just get the Carrera wireless ones for the digital set.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When I bought the digital box, it didn't occur to me that it didn't come with controllers. So, I'm going to see if maybe somebody has it. Sorry?
It didn't come with controllers?
No, it doesn't come with controllers when you just buy the digital box by itself.
Well, that's good.
I'm hoping that there'll be some generous soul out there who wants to donate their wired controllers, which are like super cheap, because they've upgraded and now they're sitting in a box somewhere. Maybe somebody has a set that they want to donate, or I know there's a lot of larger scale guys who are looking at HO sets and cars lately. Maybe we can make a trade, track and
slot cars. If you're listening, he needs some controllers.
Yeah. But we'll work on that. That'll be next week. I'm going to sort of, when Raul's with us, talking about, what the hell are we talking about next week? It's already set.
Digital? Was it digital set?
I'll come back to it. Yeah, I think it's, it's what us as creators can do to make, to sort of pump everybody up a little bit. I have a lot of great ideas that, we need to share, some ideas that opening a couple of different pages and watching a few different creators at the same time while you're running at times too. Just things like that. When you're bored, this is the stuff you do that sort of helps out the community. It's not going to make an immediately huge difference, but in the long run, at some point the algorithm is going to start picking up slot cars. Because right now nobody's gone viral. There's been no slot car, nothing go viral, nothing at all. So this is sort of where I think this might have a good start in moving in the right direction, and definitely use the address and the site or and the page channel. Pardon me. Okay, Chris. So you got the controller. Looks like now you got a little bit of work on your hands, some soldering you need to do.
Yes, sir.
What's up after you've done your soldering?
I've got the track in just a small oval on my table, and kind of like Matt. I've got to clear out a spot for get rid of basement junk.
So do you have the room?
Oh yeah, I've got the room to put a bigger table. It's just the workout bike that never gets done, and
Yeah.
a table and some just my train junk. I've got to get it out of there.
Oh, no, it's not train junk. You mean train stuff?
Train stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
So
your
you
train
gonna hook
still
some of
on?
that up too once you get these slot cars going?
I'm sorry, you didn't hear.
Are you gonna do some train stuff too once you get slot cars
No,
going?
I think I've actually thought about selling some of it off,
Oh, cool.
and just to bring some more money in to feed this addiction.
Yeah. Bigger tables, bigger tables. Yeah. That's exactly it, Mike.
It almost instantly, Mike. Almost instantly.
They're never big enough. It's never enough. There's always there always has to be room for more. So
Or two.
yeah, here we go. There you go, Chris.
Yep. I just saw that, and then the one below it, saying that he's doing the same thing. John.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Because in your mind you have this train empire you're going to build and everything, and being in the slot car community and being in with the slot cars, it's kind of changed and shifted a lot of my mindset, and this is where I want to be, and this. I mean, this you don't have this community in the train world unless you're in some club, and I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It's just in my area, you're doing it by yourself and you're stuck.
That's it's something I made actually note of for the races that were going on at Electric Dreams there. Every morning you say hi and there's no answer by anybody, but yet there's 100 people watching and not one person says good morning back or hey, how's it going, or like here, like just watching Raul's, everyone like, oh my gosh, the guy couldn't even start the show. Everyone was too busy saying hi to everybody else. There was
Right.
50 people. Everyone had to say hi to everybody else. Man, that literally took like an hour. We started at like 5:15. So
Yep.
This is exactly, like what's going on lately. I'm pretty sure tonight is Raul's biggest night. I don't believe he's ever done more than 50 subscribers live. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. And that's absolutely shows in the direction like that this is going. And even when I went live, his show numbers didn't drop off. Hey, the fingers, how's it going, brother? There's somebody from Raul's show right there.
Yep.
Hey, the fingers.
Did it? Yeah. Conquest does a really great job. What do we got here? Yeah, it definitely will be. DNA slot cars. Thank you very much for joining us. Absolutely fantastic. So this is you caught us at the right time. We just sort of slid in. A few of us have these new Evolution DTM Forever sets, and we're sort of drooling over them a little bit and talking about stuff.
Hey, DNA. Hey, Sasha.
Hey, DNA. Kenton.
Got 2 different people in the house right now. Did Raul's show just end, I guess?
Hey, 2021.
Oh, look at this.
The 80s kid.
I like his profile pic.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Hey, Sasha.
All right. Yeah, young slot car racers. That's what we need. Totally, eh? Man, she's good. I don't that's skill, but that's a different skill. She doesn't have the same drive like we do, like, crazy adult drive. She can be calm and collected where we just want to destroy. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. So where were we? Chris, So you're finding space for your larger scale. I know you have a few new acquisitions on the table behind you. Anything stand out you want to show off?
No, everything's still about the same. Well, I do have this. I'm a sucker for these rally type vehicles. I did pick up the Broncos or the Silverados.
Well, those are the ones that had at Love's, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
these were at Love's.
You know, I messaged my sister-in-law today. She works at that Love's and she's back at work, and she said they're out, and she even called the inventory manager because they have appreciation day coming up where they get like 50% off, and she was like, I'll buy it for you. But he said he doesn't think they're getting any more in.
Yeah, you see, it was kind of like a quick blowout type thing. I think what Auto World did was they took one of those promotion packages that Auto World has, and they just paid for it and had their livery put on them. Anyone could do it. I think Travis at one point had a flyer. Somebody had a flyer with the promotions page on how much it would cost to get 1,000 sets made.
Oh, it's on their website.
Oh, it is there. Okay, so anybody can do it.
Anybody they have it. You can do it. You can do die cast like 1/18, 1/64. They have the slot car. I think the cheapest you could do is like, and don't quote me on it.
No, but it's just an idea of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 10,000 units or 15,000 units, something like that.
Because a lot of they do it for a lot of promotions. Like companies will have their own car, and give it as a spiff for a sales meeting and that kind of stuff. I've seen that happen.
Yeah, that's it's kind of a good idea though, but you'd really have to have a crowd that was into that sort of thing. But it would actually be a really good idea. Like you have a seminar of some sort, and at the end, of course, you're talking about stuff that's relevant to giving away a slot car set. But it's like, thanks for coming at the end of the night, and the lady's like, hey, I'm here for the bouquet, man. Oh, okay.
I know my mom worked for Coca-Cola years ago, back in the 70s, and they would rent out Six Flags here in Atlanta for employee night. And I wish there's one of those things, looking back, they were handing out Hot Wheels with, made up with Coca-Cola marketing and stuff as you walked in the gate. And, I had those for years, and then who knows whatever happened to those, but those were cool.
Oh, apparently we have a breakaway. Secret Agent Matt. He's got to use his phone. Right on. Okay, so where are you putting your larger scale track?
Just opposite of, you can see the corner of the 132nd there. It'll be opposite wall. And I've got a 16, or just not 16, about 14 foot, 18-inch wide shelf layout for my trains that I have over there. And I'm going to go take that down and put it over there.
Nice. So you'll have a variation, right? So your idea is to not stop HO, just mix in larger scale.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop HO. I like HO. I like that. Yeah. I've kind of Mark is kind of spoiled me now with this Viper car, and now I can't even look at Auto World and AFX the same way after handling that Viper, that 2.5 ohm armature. That thing is quick, and he's got a good idea of getting some more of the house cars, or step it up to the modified and play with those. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, Mark does a really fantastic job of making these private chassis look really good. He explains them good. Viper giveaways never hurt at all, apparently. So fantastic turnout that night. It was a really good night. Mark's a great guy. He's got a lot going on over at Mark's Lock Car Garage, guys. So if you don't know you don't know about Mark, over at Mark's Slot Car Garage, please go visit him. He has the Viper set up. He's the guy sort of in our crowd who's got all the top gear kind of thing. He's got the Viper routed track and the Viper cars and the higher end cars. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, make sure you go check him out. Oh, there he is. Didn't even know there. Uh-oh. All right.
Sorry, my daughter. I don't know if she broke her ankle, but she hurt her ankle real bad in gymnastics. So my wife we were kind of troubleshooting what we need to do, and so we're just gonna kind of see. I'll take it. It'd be easier to take it to the pediatrics in the morning, and they're gonna do the same thing as opposed to driving all the way up to Little Rock to Children's, and then they're just gonna want to X-ray everything. So sorry about that.
Hey, you got to take care of your family.
Well, that's right. That's absolutely correct. Oh, here's a good question, guys. This is a bit of a tricky question, DNA Slot Car. I know you guys are a little probably bit past the starter set. That would be the AFX Infinity set. Comes with their two latest Formula N cars. It's the Formula E ripoff cars. They did a really great job. They look kind of cool. But I really think you guys are probably a bit beyond that. It's literally a figure eight with two cars. If you're after the two cars, it's worth the buy because you pay for the cars and you get the track for free. The problem with that track is it's only an 18-volt track, and you can't reset the power, so it's always going to be at 18. Now, I think what you're probably looking at is something a little bit bigger.
You want this, whatever you get.
A variable power pack. This is a match showing the Auto World one right here. This is a separate buy you can get for it. But you're probably looking at something like the Horsepower Shootout set, where it comes with the set exclusive cars, which is huge, or the Super International. But I think DNA Slot Cars, you guys are probably a bit past the beginner set for AFX. But to answer your question, the answer would be, it would definitely be the Infinity set by AFX. But like I said, it's beginner.
Well, it depends on what you want. I mean, are it just you by yourself?
Right.
Are you wanting scenery? Are you wanting for fun? I mean, you got
That's
the
right.
And the thing about the HO sets, especially most of the HO sets are right around 100, 150, unless you get the Victory 400, which I think is down to 390 now, but it's wireless. But a lot of people don't like it. It doesn't bother me a bit. And then you got the new NASCAR generic one that's out by Auto World, which comes with the 18-inch banks and the new tooling Superbird, which that thing almost buys itself just in the banks and the new tooling. And then you get the Breeze set coming out.
Yeah.
And they're all right around the same price point.
Yeah, that's another good. Thanks for mentioning that, Matt. DNA Slot Cars. If you're thinking about purchasing a track, the Bree Auto World set is about to come out with the two Bree cars in it. You might want to wait for that or get on the list because it's about to come out soon. And if you don't have a set yet, I would say pick the setup. This is the problem why I'm going to have to wait, because I have no interest in the set itself. I'm only interested in the cars, which is the reason why I'm going to buy Revo Slot 510s, the pair, and then I'll find the HO as soon as somebody breaks them out of the set. But I would definitely go with I would hang out. If you're literally thinking about buying, literally hang on. You got like 1 or 2 weeks till the Bree exclusive set comes out. It's the biggest thing in slot car.
Well, supposedly.
Supposedly, yeah. We're all waiting. even on the 1/32nd scale side, everyone's waiting there too. So it's a Brie waiting game right now. It's a fantastic livery. It doesn't matter what side of the board you're standing on. It looks great as an HO and it looks great as a 1/32nd, and I can't wait to do a comparison because I know they're both going to be like really good. So yeah.
And DNA slots, I did just my last Thursday. One of my videos is on that Infinity set, so you can actually see what it looks like on a 4x8 piece of plywood.
Oh, there you go.
And you can see what all you get. And I have a question for Tammy there. Tammy Clayton saying that she bought it at RC Hobbies. Is that a pre-order? Or is that actual? They have it in stock? Because I know like Kenton said, he just put out a video where on the Auto World page, it went from coming out in October to coming out in November, at least from Auto World store.
Right.
Oh, she's saying she got it?
Oh, well, yeah. Have it in stock. Cool.
I found also some eBay vendors are also get their stuff pretty quick too. So that was also another good information piece when I was looking to see what was going on with slot cars. I start searching through eBay because eBay, some vendors always get the cars like a week before they actually come out. Like I'll bet you might even be able to find Night on Fire there right now. I could be wrong, but if you can't, I'm sure it's not far away because I've been looking every day, man. Ain't no way a slot car passes by eBay without me seeing it in the last week. Doesn't matter what scale it is, man. I've been hawkeyeing the 32 scale. I spent 3 nights looking at cars on eBay. And then I went to Pendle Slot and totally fell asleep looking at Pendle Slot cars. Oh my gosh. Revo Slot is awesome. That's all I got to say. And I only own one of those cars. So, yeah, it's nice. All right. So, what do we got going on here? Let's, Adam, are you getting your system set up right now? Adam just got his Viasu. Is that it? Viasu?
Viasu, yeah.
Yeah.
And
That sucks, Adam. So that stops people. That's like a pre-order thing with an extra pre-order, and you don't get it till everything. That does suck.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, so any further things, Chris?
No, I think that's pretty much it for right now. Plate's full, trying to get all the content from here to there.
Hear that? Yeah, I know. And when you're having so much fun doing it all too, man, lots of the times you totally forget to videotape it, right?
Right.
I know me. It's like, sometimes I totally neglect my own advice that I say to everybody, man. Take pictures and videotape everything because people are nosy and they want to see what you got going on. Just remember that, guys. One day, all that footage may be useful. All right, Chris. Thanks, brother.
Yes, sir.
Matt, what's going on with your channel?
I'm currently still working on that round 2. I guess you could call them documentaries. I feel weird when I call them that, but most of my documentaries have been right around 6 to 10 pages. That usually goes about 6 to 10 minutes, and this one really kind of ballooned out to about 24 pages right now.
Oh.
I have about 10 minutes of it recorded, but I had gone back through and fact checked it, but there's so much. And what I've done is I've included round 2, and I've kind of gone in and said, hey, this is round 2. Currently, as of today, this is how they became that. And they started out as playing Mantis, and they bought Johnny Lightning's brain. And there's some of the toys that these guys made early on were going to blow everybody's mind. And not so much that it's novelty or anything like that. You wouldn't have figured that toy came from them.
Right.
And so even since 1994, these guys have been putting out iconic toys. And then, they got bought out, and then he came back around and bought them all back out again. And then He got the blessing from Oscar Kovaleski to use the Otterworld brand. And now here we are, 8 years later. So that's kind of what I'm going to touch on. And after that, I'm working on 2 other videos. One's on Strombecker, and the other one is on a Slot Car Legends on Russ Kit and Jim Russell.
Oh, is that right, eh?
Yeah.
Huh.
And by the way, he is the one who gave us the first controller with the plunge.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, wow.
Yes, Russ Kit and him. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to, and then obviously working at this to get the room for the 132nd track, and then I just kind of have to pace myself with this track here so I can get some banks, and I need some more straights.
Yeah.
And anybody's on Discord knows that I'm constantly griping about Otterworld straights and the rails, so I have to get a few more straights to replace some straights that I shouldn't have to replace, but whatever, it's fine. I'm addicted to.
Yeah, we do what we have to do to keep our hobby going, hey?
Yeah. I still got the Mayflower truck coming. I got that Tinker Club truck coming. And then as we get closer to Christmas, once we get all the kids taken care of, I'll probably cut loose a little bit.
Nice. All right. So we'll just give people a quick reminder of what they need to do to keep updated with our fantastic content here. So I'm sitting here thinking, how can I make a bell notification video that viewers will actually want to watch?
You're gonna want that cowbell.
Did he just say cowbell?
I gotta have more cowbell.
It's not a cowbell.
I could have used a little more cowbell.
All right then, hit the cowbell notification button so you don't miss any of my up-and-coming content. Woo! Yeah! Little cowbell.
Everybody needs more cowbell.
Everybody.
Hey, I did want to show you guys, Rich and you, something, because he's into that. Not Rich, excuse me, Chris. See these?
Oh, yeah.
And then,
Are those the 143?
yeah, these are SCX cars, though.
Yeah. Those are cool.
Yeah.
And the 143s can be driven on the Carrera track too, eh?
Yeah.
The bigger one. Yeah.
Yep. And then, of course,
So,
we got the.
really looking forward to driving the AFX cars on that Carrera track, though. I can tell you that much for sure.
That was pretty wild. I told you about that too, Dan, about driving the HO cars on that Carrera digital track. That was wild.
Oh man.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Okay, so for those who don't know, Raul from Conquest Racing is also a member of mine. And tonight is members night, and we are talking about what we're all doing. So I want to thank Raul for joining us tonight. Everybody, welcome Conquest Racing Club to the show.
What's up, everybody?
Us, Raul. I appreciate it, brother.
How are you guys?
Good.
We're good. We're good. We're stuck talking large scale right now. Awesome.
Oh, you guys crazy, man.
Yeah. Actually, Matt was just show us what you were just showing there, Matt.
Oh, I was showing some 143 SCX NASCAR.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a big 143 collection. I love 143rd scale.
Yeah,
but I'm more into the whimsical tracks. I like the loop-de-loops, and I like the intersections, and I like because 132nd. So I have a lot of 132nd tracks. I have the Carrera track, which is all for digital racing, and it gets into all the digital, the pit stops, weather, and all of that, which is really cool. And then I have the fun track, which I put into my Lego City, because originally I was going to build a 143rd scale track for my Lego City. But when you looked at the scale, it didn't match up. And then I went and got Scalectric, because Scalectric has intersections. So I built a full city layout with the intersections for my Lego City. And then I decided to do jumps with the Scalectric track because it has jumps. And I was like, well, 143rd has loop-de-loops and 90-degree bank turns in the air. So I was like, okay, I'll do that too. So I built a big 143rd collection as well.
Oh, that's
So,
amazing.
so yeah.
And you have what, 500, 100, 132nd scale cars?
Yeah, I have 503. I last year in January I had 37.
Oh
Now I have 500 and something cars, 132nd scale cars.
Yeah, so DNA joined us, and they're still here actually. They were talking a little bit about HO stuff as well too. So
Yeah, I have the AFX International too, which I haven't set up. I'm looking at probably setting it up around my Lego City on the outskirts, maybe. So
DNA slot cars. It's the Bree. What's it called, Matt? The Bree
set, the Bree Dotson set.
Yeah, the Bree Dotson set, or the Bree exclusive
It
HO.
comes with the 240Z, and then the 510.
The Dotson 510. Yeah.
Dotson 510.
I wish it came with that blue one though.
Yeah, that would be the track to pick up right now if you're looking to buy a whole set. That is, you've jumped in at HO at the exact right time, because deliveries in HO up until the Bree set have been almost non-existent. Basically, you'd just get a set with track and a few nice looking cars. But this Bree set, they've spent a little buck on it. The Brock Racing Entertainment is absolutely fantastic. This is a really great livery. Fantastic. Just like the just like the Revo slot, the 510s. Can't
This
wait for
one's
them.
124 out the door, free shipping.
Wow.
Wow.
So that almost covers the cost of the cars, and then you're paying like $20-25 for the track. And I'm guessing there's something else in there too that makes it the exclusive set. AFX has, it's the AFX warranty is the reason why, AFX is very solid about their warranty, and that for me it goes a long way, because I'm a person that likes to stand behind, things that are said and done. And AFX definitely stands behind their product. Auto World is kind of iffy trying to get a hold of them. And the chances of having something warranted are pretty funny and laughable at best. But AFX, definitely, there's no problems with warranting stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't it, DNA? That's exactly what I want to do. I'd like to, put them together, because they're both going to look really good. We've already seen the 510. And it looks absolutely fantastic. Yeah, we're keeping this guy up all night.
No. Yeah, so I've been called up a lot by the slot car community recently. So it's been nonstop live streams all over the place. I think Saturday I was up till 5 a.m. on live stream in UK. So
cool.
but it's okay. Like
fans the other night.
Yeah, no, I'm there pretty much.
I meant to watch that with you guys too. I fell asleep waiting on it, watching Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was up. I'm always up till like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays, because I'm always around for Pete. But it's great. You guys are doing a fabulous job, and I'm going to be leaving my live streams at the end of this year anyway. So the Monday Night Live will be finishing off this year. So and then you guys can take over and do great things with it. So it'll be awesome. Yeah.
Well, in specific, the three of us here are all have larger stuff going on as well. So to have that transition of the larger scale crowd, by then I'm really looking at it as we're just, like I said, I'm going to try to make more content that's larger scale. And so are these guys here. We're going to have a video series where we're going to share. Each week we're going to be at a different person's channel, and we're going to talk larger scale. This way, none of us are at none of us are at an advantage because we're all green and we're all starting at the bottom. So
you can add me to that rotation as well, then, because
yeah,
I'll jump on with you guys and do that with you guys. Be
yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm very much a car collector. I'm not really a racer, so it'd be interesting. I'm very much like a beginner level racer, so that's why the GRL was so important to me.
Right.
Because there's a big divide, and me and Pete were talking about this. Like when you enter the hobby and you just get started, there's a big jump from the hobby scene to the race club scene, right? And there's no in between. There's no level in between. So the GRL kind of covers that level in between, where you don't have to be a pro racer. You can get a little bit of tuning done, but still race in your home and still race against other people globally. And that was my goal, just to cover that in between gap between being a club racer, because I have one club around me, and they just sent me the rules for their club racing for this winter, and it's 20 pages of rules for one series. So it can get very daunting. You know, they go down to like how heavy the car would weigh, chassis wise, how heavy the car weigh, body wise, what's the combined weight of the car. How much mag force it is, you know, what kind of tire specification you can use, what are your tire levels,
Right.
how the bodies have to be race worthy. You cannot put rubber, you cannot use flexible parts on your body. Like it goes into all the tech stuff. And I think it's a very big jump from going from racing at home to racing at club crack series. So I like the GRL. It's like that middle ground, kind of prep you for that. If you want to take it to club level, you can. But if you want to just stay racing at home, you can as well, just staying in the GRL. But yeah, I think that's why I wanted to do that, and that will be a big focus of mine, to expand that series next year,
Yeah.
from just doing it once a year to maybe twice a year, maybe adding the full HO series in there as well, like you guys want to do. So building that whole thing out with you guys, that'd be awesome. Building that out and I think that's something that I really want to do for next year. Yeah.
Well, that's the reason I jumped on this evolution set, is based off of the GRL, because I want to participate with the GRL on this next season. So any tips
me
for
too.
cars to get, because I've only got 2 DTM that came in the set.
Yes.
So that's
So-
where I kind of want to go, is to that racing, and I like your concept, and
Yeah.
that's why I jumped in on it, because I want to participate with the GRL.
Yeah, so the way we work, Chris, it's not really like we what happens if when you join the GRL, I have a separate community that's set up. It's like a Facebook community, but
Yep.
specifically for the GRL. So in there we have our meetings. All members come on and we discuss everything from what tracks are we going to do for the next year. So we have a limit. It's only a $200 limit every year that you can invest into the GRL. So basically, we say, okay, there's $200 in the pot now for next year. So we start, like this year, we started with the DTM Forever set, right?
Mhm.
And that was it. That was the investment. And then we added 2 or 3 cars depending on what set you got. Like some people got the older DTM Forever, some people got the new one, and then there was a variation in cars. So we added 2 cars. We added the Group 5 car and we added the Trucksters to this set. Because everybody wanted to go Carrera. But next year, when we sit down, when we say, okay, we have $200 that we want to invest into the GRL for this year, it might come down to just controllers, because many of the people want to go away from the plunger to just a controller. So we're stuck with the cars we have, which is the 4 cars. What we might do, because what's happening in round 3 and round 4 of the GRL, we're allowing 2 upgrades. We're allowing you to upgrade your guide flag and put in the rear tires. That's the only 2 upgrades allowed for round
nice.
3 and round 4 this year. So by next year, those cars will now have upgraded rear tires, upgrade guide flags. What else can we do? We might say we remove the magnets. Or we might say add shoulders to the track. Because once we remove the magnets, we need some width to the track. Those might be the only 2 upgrades that we'll allow next year for the GRL, and we'll have new track configurations based on the inventory we already have.
So good.
That's it, right?
So good.
So
brother.
that's how we do it, because I want the barrier to entry to be really low and
Yeah.
really affordable to everybody,
Yeah.
and not to increase at a rapid rate where it gets out of control. This league is not for it's not to empty people's wallets. It's about being very controlled about how you enter the hobby and how much you spend in the hobby on our end. So the Global Racing League is really about like controlling that a lot, because that's the one thing that we go out of control with in the hobby, is like we tend to want to go big real fast.
Yeah, overboard.
Right?
Way overboard. Yeah.
So it was one of the main things that I wanted to control. So we set the table size. The table size will never change for the GRL. It's a 7-foot by 9-foot table footprint. It'll never change. GRL will always be run on that table. The only thing that will change over time is every year, because we might add a track pack the year after. We might add whatever we want. Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing that will change. Track configurations will change because we have a bigger inventory set, but that's about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, very interesting stuff for sure. That's totally fantastic. I love this whole scenario, and HO, we talk about this all the time. You know, how can we race somebody else somewhere else? And it's just as simple as what you've done. I mean, it just takes somebody who can get it all together, and it's fantastic that you are able to do that. The GRL is absolutely fantastic. It's great. I like how you've kept it so basic. And then I like how you're sort of advancing everything year by year. This year, you know, add the tires, take the magnets out. Well, of course, take the magnets out because you've just upgraded the tires. So now you can still keep the car on the road. You know, it totally makes sense, and it's absolutely going to work super, super good. I really like the idea. How many people did you have in your first season?
Well, this is the first season. I limited it to only 10 people. So the reason I did that was I built all the software myself. So everything is done online. You enter all your results. So the way it works is you live stream everything. You live stream your run. You have to have 2 witnesses on the live stream. So 2 other GRL members must be on the live stream for you to register a run. Once you call a run, if you deslot, that's it. If you don't get 10 laps, you will count the laps you get, and you don't get you won't qualify for first, second, or third. So you have to finish 10 laps. If you deslot, your run is over. If you do complete 10 laps, then we put you in to see if you finish first, second, or third. That's based on time. And everyone gets a chance to go after fastest lap. So even if you deslot in the first lap, but you have the fastest lap, you get a 1 point for that. And then you enter everything onto a form on the back end. It's already built, and it automatically posts into. I just go through on Sunday morning, so everybody has to finish their run in the week. All results must be there by Saturday at midnight. If they're not, you receive a DNF for not racing. And then the next Sunday, everything gets verified and all the results go live. So that's how it works. It's very, and I just wanted to keep it small at 10 races just to make sure everything was working seamlessly. So it's a first, we're doing it. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Is that Rick?
Yeah, that's Rick's head note.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us, Rick. Yeah, so that's great. What do you have going on in the next little while? Let's just say from now until the time that you head out for, I want to say wargaming. Is that correct?
Yeah. So what do I have from now till then? I mean, I'm still in slot cars. I'll still be doing slot cars. The only thing that I'm stepping away from is doing the Monday night live stream right now. Or next year, not this year. So December 18th will be my last Monday night live stream. And then next year, I'm going to be doing more collaboration. So maybe what I want to do is I want to be there for other YouTubers, jump on other YouTuber channels, really just be part of panel groups, panel discussions. I want to push the hobby forward And I
Awesome.
think it's great to do it through collaborations,
Yeah.
cross promotion, stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to that. And the other thing I want to do is just continue doing what I really love, which is just shooting slot cars and creating
Yeah.
cinematic videos. Like that's what I want to do. So I'm looking at fireworks and I'm looking at all these special effects that I want to do next year and really just push the envelope in terms of videography. So new cameras, new lenses, crazy lenses coming out, so stuff like that. Yeah, that's my goal for next year.
Yeah, the photography you do is pretty amazing. I
Top-notch.
mean, for
Top-notch.
sure.
Yeah.
You know, I can definitely appreciate the amount of time that goes into stuff like that. I mean, I don't have the equipment. Everything I do is on my phone, but man, you can certainly see a difference. You just know when somebody has equipment because everything just seems to run a little smoother. You know, frames are a little tighter, that kind of thing. So,
I mean, like you don't need big equipment to produce good content.
no,
Don't
you
get me
definitely
wrong,
do
right?
not.
Content comes from within. I think as long as I think everyone has something original to say, and if you want to, I say press record. I always say I asked for that from the day one, and I still and I still believe that. I think everyone has a voice here. Everyone has a way to present themselves here,
Yeah.
and that's something that I will always champion. And you don't need equipment to do that. You just, like you said, you can just start with your phone and just get going, right? Like that's all you have to do. Just get over the jitters. For myself, like we talk about layers in the slot car hobby, right? We talk
Yeah.
about like you enter and you get your track, then you learn how to build your car, then you learn how to get more faster, and then it keeps on adding up. For me, I've just added another layer to my hobby, which is videography, right? Just taking my love for cameras and equipment and just trying to bring that to life with slot cars. So that's what it really floats my boat. To be honest, like I love the speed of slot cars. I love just slowing them down. So how fast can I slow them down? It's like an oxymoron, but that's the idea behind it, right? It's hard to like those your 1/64th scale cars. I was watching Shen RC race his sister with his
Yep.
Echo track on his loop, and they were getting like headaches. And I was like, can you imagine slowing those things down? It'd be amazing to see how much flex those cars have going around that bank turn in 1,000 frames per second. Because when you see them slowing down, it's amazing.
Yeah, I actually managed to finally. Shen RC is going to join me next Monday on Monday Night Live, so that should be pretty interesting. I think everyone's kind of curious to know what his story is because he's had a lot of HO experience too. So
yeah, 100%.
And they got a really good thing going on, him and his sister. That's an absolutely fantastic thing, like, hey, brother and sister racing against each other for their whole lives. They've been doing it their whole lives. So, like, wow, so.
Well, and what you bring up the photography, and one of the things that I enjoy, and I don't know this guy's name, I follow him, but he takes like the old Star Wars toys from when we were kids, and he goes and he puts them in creeks or sand.
Oh yeah.
And he like throws the sand up as he takes the pit, and it's epic. I mean, it's like legendary.
Yeah, I'm a big, actually, me and him. He actually came and commented on my Halloween special movie because I'm a member on his channel. His Sir Dork is his name.
Yeah, that's it.
And he does all the toy photography stuff. And me and him converse a lot. And he's like, I've been sharing the photographs I've been taking with the slot cars. So now he challenged me to do some explosive stuff with the slot cars, like and make more movie kind of reels. I have a huge collection of Transformers. So like I'm gonna do some stop motion videography mixed with real live action slot cars and kind of mix it up a bit. So that's what I really want to do next year.
We see some Rodimus Prime. I remember you said he was your favorite.
Rodimus, correct. Yeah. Soundwave, Rodimus, these kind of things. Yeah, it'd be kind of awesome.
Oh, nice. Yeah. The old Transformers are awesome, for sure. They got some really nice ones coming out. I've been seeing a lot of shorts for these really intricate, newer ones that are coming out, made out of metal and stuff.
Yep. We have them on order, so yeah, we'll have them first. Get a lot of there's a lot of Transformer stuff that I have, so
Yeah.
yeah.
And what any plan to put that on video, like flyby kind of thing, or?
Yeah, so a lot of stop motion. So trying to get with stop motion, transform them in midair and then into the car, onto the track, and then take it from there, kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah. So like that kind of stuff is what excites me a lot.
Yeah.
So that's really where I want to go next year. Yeah.
Into the cinematics, the video, the high end.
Yeah,
video.
for my channel,
Yeah.
because unboxing is fun, but if I told you I have 20 or 30 of these boxes sitting over there that haven't been even opened,
Oh man.
like I know that you got the black one, but I have the original white Vorstein right here.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Right? Like, so I mean, like I
Hang
have
on
like
a sec, bro. Hang on.
Yeah.
Show it there. Yeah. Oh, tight.
right.
Well, and you bring up a good point, because someone in your live stream earlier, somebody was talking about a new car coming out, and I can't remember who it was, but they're like, "Great, we're gonna get 200 unboxings of that car,"
Yeah.
And so, and you're right, you kind of have to find your own niche, and hopefully that niche aligns with your passion, and then you can just run with it, right?
Yeah, I built like my own camera cars, so I have like camera cars with boom arms on them already. So
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you, Raul.
yeah.
Okay, I have the Carrera track, obviously. Now I want a camera car because I want to do the moving shots. Would I be better off to go with a 124 platform or a 132nd platform?
124 will give you more stability,
Right.
and give you less shake on the track, because
That's
what's going
what
to
I
happen
thought.
is no matter whatever you use, even if you're using like a GoPro and they
Yeah.
have great stabilization, what happens is our cars have so much vibration because
Yeah.
they're such a small platform. So a heavier 124 chassis, maybe like a metal chassis like this
Right.
here, right?
Oh, okay. Wow.
Like this kind of chassis will give you a little. First of all, it gives you mounting points with the hole so that you can put a rig on there.
Right.
Because really, you want to rig up the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what it allows you to do is add a boom, so you can actually get a swing arm on this. So I have a swing arm camera car, so I can swing the camera around, and I can take different angles on the track as it's running. And yeah, you want to get something like that maybe, but then you're starting to invest into some cameras as well, because I don't use a GoPro for my on-track footage. I use a thumb camera. It's the size of my thumb.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's a different camera altogether. And I recently got another camera that shoots 240 frames per second in that scale. So yeah, it's when you start to get into like that kind of stuff, it gets a little bit more tricky. But GoPros are really good for this. Like the light streaks that I did with Halloween stuff, that's done through a GoPro. Like
nice.
setting up through GoPro, so I was able to get that ghostly effect. Yeah.
So what do you think? I should just buy like a 124 chassis kit? That's it?
Yeah, I mean, ideally you could scratch build it.
Right.
Because with brass you could. With brass, you can actually scratch build it really well.
Right.
Ideally. But like I just went with a 124 scale auto kit that I had, which this is a scale auto kit. So 124 kit. I just went with one of these, and then I built off of this. Yeah.
So you just used the chassis, or did you put the camera on top of the car?
I built a rig, and then the camera is on a boom that can swing out and swing back.
So you built like a real movie film car.
Yeah, at 124 scale.
At 124 scale.
With a digital chip, so I can actually program it to run by itself if I needed to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the great thing about Carrera Digital, eh?
Yeah. You want to have the versatility. I also have the Omni box, which allows me to switch from analog to digital as well on my Carrera track.
That's Jim,
Okay,
the
now
guy
I'm
I'm a
going to
member of
ask
his
you,
club.
bro. Let's just say that I leave the analog track on when I have the digital box. Now I know I can't power them both at once. I'm not that crazy, but can I leave the analog box there, not powered?
On the track,
Yeah.
I've never seen it done. Most people just switch the power pack. Like they'll
Right.
switch that control unit. So they'll switch
Yeah,
the analog to
And I
digital
have a
control unit.
digital control unit.
So the only thing that you have to be careful with,
Yeah.
and this is when you start putting in the lane changers onto your analog system, you cannot have the curve, like the curve lane change.
Oh yeah.
You'll short your control unit. You'll have issues.
Oh. Okay.
So you can
So
use
then
the
that's
straight
not a thing.
crosses. You can use the straight, like the double lane cross. That's
Yeah.
fine. But anything that has a curve, like the outside to the inside on the curve, because
Yeah.
they use Carrera has jumpers. There is videos where they show you how to open up the back end and just remove the jumper, and then it will become what we call safe. That will come like lane isolation will happen. But right now, Carrera has jumpers in that don't allow you to have isolated lanes for analog. So
Now-
that's the one thing. Even with Omni slot box, I had to do that with all my curve lane changes. Remove that jumper.
Oh, I see. Okay. So
Did you
then
buy
I
the
guess that's
actual
not
Omni slot, or did you
I
buy the
did.
emulator? The big one? You got the
I
big
have
one?
both. I have the big Omni slot box, and then I also have the tech slot box as well, which is just it's a different system. But I have both.
Sweet.
That's just so you can run your analog cars too on the same track, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just switch the switch some switches, and I'm back to analog and digital switching. And the cool thing about the Omni slot box is on the analog side, I can run my DeFalco controllers, like the full pop ones, like so it takes like the mainstream controller, and then all my lanes are independently charged with independent variable power supplies.
Right. Yeah, that's the way to do it for sure. It's the same thing in HO too. You know, you got to get a separate power supply at some point. Now for the digital, that's 18.5, correct?
So yeah, I run mine all at 18.5, whether it's 132nd or 124. I juice my cars. Doesn't matter.
Ah,
I've always run my cars at the highest voltage. So
right. Yeah, and sometimes it's hard in the smaller scale because the cars are either way too fast for that setting, or they're way too slow for that setting. It's kind of in between sometimes. Gets frustrating every once in a while. What would you say to somebody who's just starting off with the 132nd? What do you think somebody should look for? Because I know, when it was sort of talking with you that sort of piqued my interest, and then you mentioning the Global Racing League, and of course everything that goes with that. And then I did a little research of my own and started poking around Carrera to see what was available. And when I realized that Carrera has everything I wanted for HO, it was the evolution set is not the end. It's just the beginning. It's like I said, I can only afford to get my foot in the door right now with a few cars, and of course that Warsteiner. Woohoo, boy. But, that'll, of course, pique the interest. I've already bought the box with the digital crossover tracks in it, the whatever it is, eight-piece set. I bought the digital track, but the one thing I didn't buy, I didn't realize that the digital control pack doesn't come with controllers.
yeah, and I would encourage you to hold back on buying controllers yet, because there's a new Carrera controller coming out, digital, that runs on AA batteries. Because right now the controller that you get runs on a proprietary lithium-ion battery, and so I'd say hold off. Enjoy the evolution set for now. Wait for Carrera to release the new digital controllers that are coming out with a AA battery charge. Like you can use AA batteries, which will make it easier for everyone.
Right.
because when you're not using it, those controllers run out of juice, and then the batteries die, and then you have to wait and spend a lot of money to get new batteries. So hold off on that. Enjoy the the beauty about analog is it allows you to run any car. But as soon as you go digital, then you have to buy the digital chipsets and put them in, and you have variety of options with the digital chips. You're not stuck to just the Carrera brand ones, right? You can you yeah, so you can buy the Slot Invasion one. The Slot Invasion has a Slot Technic chip. You can buy a Slot Technic chip. You can buy for Carrera cars with the DPR door. You can just buy a Carson chip. It's a direct plug and play, so you can take collector cars and make them digital like within seconds. Pioneer is the same way. All Pioneer cars come with DPR doors, so you can just add the Carson chip to them and make them Carrera digital.
Oh,
right?
wow.
So there's a lot of variety for chipsets and all the slotted cars. Majority of all the big brand name cars come ready to accept the digital chip in whatever way, shape, or form that you want. So in that way, we're kind of spoiled. It's funny that digital hasn't taken off, because I believe that digital is the future for racing because it's more immersive, but it's just never taken off because the club level hasn't taken it to the next level, I think. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I just think that Carrera, Carrera's got enough power, it seems, to be actually putting out commercials. I don't think it would kill Carrera to spend a few bucks in major city centers and throw a few really nice looking commercials out there. I think that would definitely be the way. Because I think Carrera Digital is definitely the way to go if you're a larger scale. I really enjoy what Carrera Digital has to offer, whether it be the Bluetooth to the screen and your iPad or your phones in front of you. I like the fueling feature, which is really good. I really like the idea of being able to switch lanes. And I watched Johnny
Hobbies.
Johnny Hobbies. Oh gosh, guys. I watched him explain the digital signal today. I watched it twice just to get it down because wow. So yeah. He does a really good job.
Once you run your first digital race, Dan, when you have 6 cars running on the same track, 6 cars is going to be ridiculous. Like the amount of craziness that happens on a 2-lane track with 6 cars is out of this world. I suggest 4 cars max because it's more manageable. But once you run it and you have your headphones plugged into your phone that's giving you your data on your car, and it tells you you're almost running out of fuel, you got to pit. And then when you run penalties, like the way we run it is, if you cause an accident, you get a 2-second penalty. They have you serve in the pit and stuff like that. And if you finish without serving your penalties, you're disqualified. So like it forces you to pit. Then we have like double or triple pit lanes. So you have to call your pit before you come around to your pit lane entry. Like there's all this stuff that's happening. It becomes really immersive. And forget that when you add weather, you add tire changes, you add all that, it becomes really intense. It doesn't become just about controlling your car on the track. It becomes about managing everything, undercutting, overcutting, the things that we talk about in F1 and races. It becomes real when you're racing digital.
That's what I think I like about it so much. This is what I've sort of always been hoping HO scale would get to, but I believe the problem with HO scale is it's a 60s product. It's a product of the 60s. Now the difference is Carrera is a product of the 2000s, right? So it's not much better, but at least Carrera is always updating their stuff. So there's always, it seems like the next best thing is always coming out. Whereas Auto World, they can't even get their counter out right now in their app. It's they're tripping over things, and I believe it may come to a point where they're just going to be like, well, we're not offering that anymore. So. And Carrera seems to have done exactly what everybody wants. I want the ability to change lanes, man. Like at the end of the day, when I seen Tyco USA 1, when I came back to slot cars, I literally thought I was going to have to buy that whole entire trucking set. I mean, every single piece, every single little set that came with it. Just because the trucks picked shit up, went forward, went back, and drove away. Fantastic. That's what I want, right? And then I saw Slot R took the pit actuator out of what was it? He
cool.
took it.
The pit lane.
Yeah, he took it out of the pit lane.
He switched it over.
Yeah, switched it. Yeah. So just watching lots of that stuff lately too.
Oh, you can do lots of stuff. Like for the pit car, you can actually create a different pit lane for it, so that when you call the pace car out, it will come out of its own pit. I've seen that done multiple times. There's lots of variations you can do, but at the end of the day, it's still like it's just about having fun, right? Like, I would really like to know, like, if you were to run a GRL on the HO side of things, right? Where would you like? Which track would you guys, which track pack would you guys consider starting with?
I've thought about that, and Dan, you can weigh in on my choice here. But I think that horsepower shootout or something of that size would be the ideal, because that's kind of a common platform. It's kind of relatively not expensive, but not inexpensive, and you get some good cars. You get the nice barriers and everything. So that's Dan has more experience, but I've thought about it, and that's what I thought.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the ideal set. The problem might be the cost, though. That is not one of the lower end sets. It's not even a medium end. It's definitely a higher end. It would be up there with the International or the Giant Raceway.
Yeah. I was trying to. What's that other one? That's not the shootout, but it's the two Corvettes, I think.
It's gosh, I want to say American Muscle, but I don't think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's something that needs to be discussed. What I did and maybe you guys can start this process now, because you will need to start it if you really want to do one for HO, is reach out to the people and then figure out what they want, what they would consider a good starter set, and get that ball rolling. It takes about 6 months, I'll be honest. It took me about 6 months to actually gather momentum for the GRL, to get everyone's input about table size, what track they want to start with, and all that. And I think if you want to really get started, if you want to have a season 1 in the HO for next year at this time, you need to start like January, starting to get everyone's input and starting to formulate the plan for that.
Yeah, you see, though, I think with HO, it's a little bit different, where if you're going to run something like that, you wouldn't have to buy a track per se. I think you would just have to standardize the pieces you'll be using to build that track. I think HO people have track. It's not like sort of Carrera where, you buy sets and then you buy pieces to add to the sets.
Okay.
I think lots of people in HO have actually bought just track and stuff and build their stuff, because I know everybody on this panel, nobody has a table set up the way that the HO instructions told them to set it up. So I think if we said like it's got to have like
no, we blew past that a long time ago. That little thing.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's true for everyone that's on the SCGR and the GRL as well. Like we all have our big tracks, but we had to standardize and we had to figure it out, because everyone, if you notice, a lot of these guys are racing on the floor, racing on carpet, because they're not tearing down their big track to create a GRL track, right? Yeah. So I mean that's but you need that input, because it will help to get the ball rolling in terms of just understanding what you guys are going to be racing on. Because once you understand the footprint you guys want to put down for your your HO level GRL track, then you can start understanding what inventory you want, because you want to give people time enough. Like
You could start
when
with
I
like a preset.
yeah, you need to have that all in place, because there's people. I understand for your demographic right now, a lot of you have HO, but like take for instance myself. If I wanted to enter the league, I'd have to understand what I need to get. I know nothing, right? I know nothing about HO. I don't know enough, right? But
Yeah.
this is why I'm doing it. Even for, I mean, I don't know your motivation to buy your track, but you say GRL made you want to buy a track, and that was the whole point of the GRL, is to get more people involved.
Yeah.
But to get them in base level, like I don't even understand till today. I still don't understand HO, to be honest. I know about, like, I'm learning more and more every day because I watch more and more of you guys channels, and getting more input on the cars and everything. But it's a different world. It's completely different from what we know. So
Yeah.
that's the way I look at it, right? Because I'm interested. Like, if you guys are going to do this, I want to jump on board too, right? Like, I want to jump on the HO side of things too, right? So yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, you see, that's the thing that really think everyone should sort of have, like, we're HO people. We're really interested in larger scales, some of us. And I know, like, obviously, like you guys, some of you guys are interested in the HO scale. You know, starting to intermingle where, you have, say, a small set of HO somewhere, just so that you can run a few cars in the background, kind of thing, right? Or at least have a really good idea. See, I really enjoy what's been going on, what I see with larger scales, with everybody who's out there. And I really find that, I wanted to learn a lot more what was going on. Just, for myself, I know for HO, when I talk about things, I can talk about them with confidence because I absolutely know what I'm talking about, and I don't sound like an ass. So with the larger scales, I definitely don't claim that. I'm green as they say, and like I said, if you're not the smartest person in the room, make sure that you surround yourself with them, and knowledge from you, Raul, and the other large scale creators is really good. I find everyone's just as friendly here. Like I was commenting when my live started, I was commenting on how your live started, in that tonight you had so many people on your live, you could barely get started. Everyone was in the comments saying hi for like an hour. Like,
Yeah.
we were saying hi and stuff a half an hour before you even went live. So, that just shows that the slot car people are just really dying for good content and want to hang out and converse with each other.
Yeah, and I think the only thing that separates the two, let's just, let's say the two scales, is is knowledge transfer. I think that's the biggest thing. It's the biggest barrier to entry for, people are dismissive about HO is because they don't want to understand HO, but that's the reason. And then the HO guys are dismissive about large scale because, like, we are aliens too. Like, it's like two different planets, right? But the truth is, we're getting closer to becoming what we call the slot car hobby. And
Right.
HO is integrating with this large scale, and Shen RC and all these people running HO cars on large scale tracks. It helps, right?
Yeah.
But we need that, and the Global Racing League or whatever it is, it will help because we're going to introduce people on a very granular level to the different scales. So whether it's 132 and you're coming in with me on SCGRL, I'm going to take you slowly through the process of racing in the 132 scale. But the same thing on the HO side, because the GRL league, like Slot Car 2021 just bought a whole bunch of HO track and stuff.
Yeah.
But how do we get him involved? And he has a young son too that's into HO as well. If you watch his like that, those are the people that are ready to race in the league, right? And that's the way I look at it, right? So.
Yes.
Yeah, that's absolutely, it's those type of things that keep things rolling for sure.
Yeah.
So, any questions about the track, Chris? Well, we got you. We got some knowledge in the house. Otherwise, we're just a bunch of we're like that book, Career for Dummies. That's us, and yeah.
Yeah, I had to recall my question because I did have one when you was talking, Raul. If you do independent, just take the Omni box out of it or the Alex box or what.
Yeah.
If you're doing independent power on each lane and you've got one of those curved or just a single lane change, do you have to isolate then because it's like it's a Y in the train world, that's a Y, and that frog would be a short if you didn't isolate that.
So it depends on the control unit that you got on the track, right? Like if you're running an analog control unit and you put in a curved lane change, it will short the track because analog needs the two lanes to be isolated from each other.
Right.
If you're running a digital control unit on that track, you can run whatever you want because the digital controller does not really get affected by the lanes. It affects the cars. The cars are what's shipped, right?
So the polarity doesn't mess it up.
Yeah.
Going from one to the other.
Yeah. So that's the basis of it. Matt, you had a question?
Yeah. When Slot R, he was replacing that piece the other day, right? And he had got the piece that the angle was much larger. Now on the coming off, like if you're leaving pit row back into the race, is that an issue too?
No.
Okay.
They have a pit lane exit. It depends on what. I didn't watch his video maybe, and I didn't see what he did. But like, there's a pit lane entry and exit that you get. It's a set. You get a pit lane set, which has the entry and the exit. But then you also have what is a narrow, like it's another digital lane which goes from two lane to a single lane.
Right.
And that one has a longer entry and exit. You can use that to enter and exit your pit lane as well. It just gives you a variety of entry. Or what people are doing, sometimes people that want to get really creative are cutting into their track and creating their own single lanes using a wider variety of curves. Allows you to push your pit lane further into the infield, as opposed to putting it right up against your track. So you can actually push your pit lane in and take it right around in behind into the infield. So there's lots of variety, but you just got cut up. And there's so many videos. I mean, Carrera is well documented in Germany. So if you follow and if you can get past the language barrier and you go into a lot of the German channels, you'll see a lot more creativity on the Carrera side of track building.
Right.
If that's what you want to get into. And there's lots of good content creators on the German side of things.
Oh man, tons. Yeah. I see lots of them are putting their fueling areas on the inside of curves.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely some great stuff going on there. That's for sure.
Do you still have your electric up?
Me?
Yes.
No, I put it aside because the GRL is in place, but I have a video on this electric track. I
remember all the Legos. That stuff was cool.
Yeah, the Lego City is still being expanded. I expand my Lego City every year. But I will be putting in, once the season 1 is finished of GRL, I'll put my Lego City back up, my Lego track back up. I also have a drag strip. I have a 1/8 mile 2-scale drag strip, or 1/32 scale 1/8 mile that I run as well. So I run like 40. I do a 47 car shootout every year or something, 48 car shootout.
Good making my way through those videos. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, those are rough. Those are like my first videos when I first started my channel. So the newer ones, I have a lot more slow motion cameras now, so should be able to capture better.
So I realized the drag strip, the 3-lane drag strip I built will probably work better for 1/32 cars.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah, give it a try, see how that works out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
so Raul, were you going to join us on Thursday for the?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, perfect.
Made
Perfect.
myself available to you a lot more.
Yeah, brother. We absolutely appreciate it. Everybody loves to have you as part of the panel. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it too because like I said, I'm learning about HO very slowly. But it's interesting. It's a very different world for me. So it's interesting. The speed is just out of this world, like
Right.
on an HO level.
And that's what
Uh,
my wife was talking about when I set the setup today and I drove it around in the living room for at least about a half an hour.
Yeah.
My wife was saying that too. I'm like, they're a little bit slower. They're better to control. You literally have more fun because when I'm trying to do a video with me and her racing in the basement on the HO, the cars are too fast. The controllers aren't the right ones. Man, there are like, I have like 10 different varieties of armatures running various voltages and stuff. And so which controller do you use, right? Do you use which one of these 5 controllers? Well, I don't up until recently have a DeFalco HO controller to deal with. I do now, of course, thanks to Jim. He's cut us one hell of a killer deal, man. He made a deal for 10 controllers for the people on my Discord for me. So he did an absolute solid for us. Unbelievable.
so Dan, when you put your Revo slot onto that track, you're going to notice that because you have no magnets on the Revo slot, it's a different driving experience altogether, right?
Right.
And the second thing is because you're using a plunger style controller, you have no brake.
Yeah.
So the
No,
Revo slots will act very different and very weird. They'll probably be very hard for you to drive on your track because you have no borders, you have no guardrails,
Yeah.
and if you do put the guardrails, you'll be hitting clipping the guardrails with the Revo slot a lot
all the time.
because it will slide because it has no magnet in it. So you'll understand then when it gets then how like when we race larger scale, there's a divide between mag and non-mag a lot.
Yeah.
And most purists are non-mag racers. So yeah,
It's the
but
same with HO too. I mean, you get lots of people like Bill, for instance, shift into high. He's really a sort of a non-magnet type person. He likes those kind of cars. In HO, it's the same thing. There's huge crowds of guys who still prefer to run the cars without the magnets and stuff. But the kind of fun that just about everybody these days in HO is looking at is the AFX, 1,000 times the speed limit kind of car, like totally crazy stuff. But what I was noticing is AFX is not that far off from 132 because when you think about it, what powers a 132 car? The CAN motor.
yeah,
What powers the AFX car?
Yeah, the can motor. Yeah.
The CAN motor, right? The problem is AFX needs to gear that car properly, and you'll have the same effect as you do with the Carrera, where the car is more drivable because it's not totally crazy like a rocket ship.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's interesting, but I like both. I like mag and non-mag racing. I enjoy both. I have no preference. I can do both.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I really like to see your reaction when you go from the Carrera cars that you have on the track and then you put in your Revo slot because the Revo slot is a different beast. But make sure you tighten everything on the Revo slots. They are notorious for not tightening all the screws. So the grub screws on the wheels, make sure you tighten those up and all that stuff
Slot
before you
Art
run it.
World Racing, their reviews for that car is what I was looking at there.
Yeah, I have a ton of Revo slot reviews as well. But just not but my favorite brand, I think. So the way it separates in the large scale, we have the hobby brands, and then we have the starter brands or the toy brands. So you'd call Skelectric and you'd call Carrera your toy brands. So those are toy branded cars, and then you get into the hobby level, which is the Revo slots, the NSRs. Actually, Revo slots to the side. It's an aluminum chassis, which is not normal. Most of the hobby brand side on the large scale is the Slottes, the Polycars, the NSRs, which is not aluminum chassis but plastic chassis,
Right.
or the scale autos, right? And when it comes to that level, then there's a lot more work you have to do with the car straight out of the box. They don't come ready to run, really.
Right.
They have to be adjusted and prepped for the track. But yeah, it's an interesting journey when you start to get into those kind of cars. And I say the Riva Starts to one side because Riva Start, first of all, runs a thicker rear axle than all the rest. So when you're trying to true tires for that one, you need a different. If you're using a tire truer, you need a different pulley system
Okay.
for that. And then another thing is it's an aluminum chassis. It just acts a little bit different, right?
Right.
Yeah, so you'll get into that, and then you get into custom cut chassis like this,
Yeah.
stuff like that, which is like gets really crazy and cool.
And this is something that you've built yourself, this custom?
Yeah, this is custom cut off a fiber laser. That's a
Yeah,
custom cut chassis, and then it's got
different.
the Scale Auto floating motor pod in there.
Right.
So yeah, standardizing everything there. And yeah, this was a Viper. When I got it, this is a Scale Auto Viper. When I got it, the plastic chassis was cracked, so I got a rebuilt brand new chassis for it.
Oh,
Um,
sweet.
yeah. So yeah, you get into stuff like that. And yeah, and then there's lots of cars. Like cars are crazy. 132nd has got a lot of cars too. I can continue talking for
Yeah.
days about cars if you guys
Oh,
want.
deliveries are absolutely fantastic. They just blow me away. I know when I was setting up the track today, I just couldn't stop commenting on things like, "Oh, and the car comes with lights, and I didn't have to pay for it."
Yeah,
And these clips that they include to keep the track together from falling apart. Sure, they already have what I would definitely call, as a hobbyist, an acceptable amount of connectors. They've
yeah,
got 4 connectors, big ones on each side, and yet they still give you those red clips to lock it in place. Fantastic. This is what I'm talking about. And this is the problem with HO. HO right now are 100% focused on the cars. 100%. That's it. And like I said, HO is a 60s product. Everything you see is no different than what it was in the 60s. The problem being, of course, AFX has not moved in the future. And right now, AFX's big problem is the track size. We all know the cars are getting wider and the track is not.
yeah.
So,
So the cool thing about Carrera right now, there's another company coming out, Scale Auto, which is another car company.
some of that, where do they fit in?
So Scale Auto, this is a Scale Auto car,
Yeah, nice cars.
right? So these guys have produced their own track, which clips into Carrera track. So uh,
Oh,
they have a universal connector for Carrera, so you can actually intermix your Carrera and your Scale Auto track. So that's another
this is
thing
mine.
that we're gonna add in.
So what is it, the same width, the same diameter,
Same
same?
width, it still takes a 124 because Scale Auto does the 124 and the 132nd cars as well.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it is a different style track. It's got more grip. It's got a green color to it.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of cool. And I'm a big advocate for Scale Auto. It's like one of my favorite brands. So yeah.
Cool. I've been seeing Scale Auto here and there, but they're really not flashed out enough for me to be sort of catching my attention. I know, like for myself, I'm definitely going to be looking at SCX, Carrera, and Revo slot. I'm pretty much going to nail it down to those 3 because you can get pretty wild, man. And almost, I believe Carrera's putting out that whole entire NASCAR series right away.
Yeah,
So
so
that'll definitely,
SCX is a toy brand again. I'll go back to saying it's a toy brand. It's
yeah.
not a hobby grade.
Oh,
Yeah, so yeah, and that's something that you'll start to understand. Like, it depends on where you want to go, and it just depends on who you're racing with, right? With SEX, once again, you get you don't get a floating motor pod.
oh,
You
I
get a
see.
solid chassis, right? So, and then the connectors are very different for SEX. So it's I'll show you the interior of one, just so you know.
I'm looking at the Scale Auto site in the Mitsubishi Evo. That's a good looking car.
Yeah, it's just coming out. Uh,
My understanding is all the SCX cars, 132nd cars that I have, if I want to convert them to digital, I have to actually solder them in place.
yeah, because an SCX car, this is one of their latest releases, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can see it's a solid chassis. It's got no float. It does have a little bit. It does have a little bit of float here, I guess.
Okay,
But
I'm
the
starting
main,
to see what you mean. You're talking about the amount of quality that goes into these cars, right?
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
right.
Because
So
that's definitely different than the other one.
yeah, so like I would. It depends on where you want to go with your collection, right? What you're trying to do with it. I collect all cars because I'm a collector, but even then, like next year, I'm narrowing down to only 3 brands or
Yeah.
4 brands.
And what are they?
I'm gonna be collecting Carrera because I have like a really big Carrera collection, and I really love. See, Carrera is officially licensed. That's one thing that I really like.
Right.
And I actually did a video on why I pick Carrera over any other brand. I like officially licensed products, so it has the Ferrari stamps on it. It has all the stamps on it, which I really love. And then for my racing level brand, I would get Scale Auto. Oh, you like my emblem? This is my own brand. This is Conquest. So
Yeah, that's
everything,
sketchy, man. I like that.
yeah. So you guys know I do my own. I have my own print shop. I do all my own apparel, all my own metal posters,
Oh,
t-shirts, you
you're in
name it. I
Canada.
do it all. Yeah, and yeah. So mugs, anything you want, anything you need, jerseys. I do hockey jerseys. I do everything. So
Okay.
yeah.
Gosh, I
So
just came up with a whole flurry of ideas.
yeah, I have my own embroidery machines. I have 15 stage embroidery machines, etc. So yeah.
Where's the
But
order page?
Yeah,
huh?
exactly, right?
Where's the request to put my?
It's conquestlair.com. Conquestlair.com. And Slot Vengers, if you go there, I do a series of car t-shirts with all the legendary cars, and you can choose the Slot Venger that you want. You can put their logo on, and they get money for it. So as soon as you put their logo on there, they get a piece of the sale. So yeah, it's a way to help promote the YouTubing community.
Yeah, I heard you talk about that, but I didn't catch the name when I was
Right.
watching
Was
one of
that
the other things.
DNA's website or DNA's live feed? We have
Yeah, so DNA has their shirts on there now. Yeah,
Oh, they do, eh?
yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
yeah. So yeah, you can get crazy with cars like Scale Auto. So the brands I'm going to collect are Carrera, Scale Auto, Riva Slot, because I think Riva Slot does the best fit and finish outside of Carrera. I still think Carrera's fit and finish is better. It's just a heavier fit and finish. And then the final one, because he's Canadian and because he's local, is MR Slot Car. So all the shadows and all this, like this guy's, and he does like high quality racing cars as well. So those will be the brands I'll be collecting moving
But
forward.
not as big though. MR slot car not as big, or
No, I think he's decent. He's big. I mean, he's Canadian, so and he's local.
it's always good.
So I go race at his track, so whenever I can. And yeah, he does a good selection of cars. I have pretty much every car he's ever released in all the liveries. So yeah,
Wow, eh? Nice.
yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Just love this slot car talk, man. So much cool stuff going on. It's just amazing, you know. You never know it all. That's what I like. There's always something that you know that somebody else doesn't know, or the vice versa.
Yeah.
And these conversations clarify all that for everybody. It's absolutely fantastic, and I find it makes more sense to have a few creators together and have a chat, just like you do on your Monday night live show. And I find way more information is shared when you have more than one creator talking. Like I can talk and blabble on forever, but it makes way more sense when I can share my opinion or other people are sharing their opinion. Adam, I was actually looking at the, is it a black Corvette with lights on top that flash, Raul? Yeah, he's probably got it. I figured you'd probably have it. That's why this is the car that I've been looking at, Adam. I'm pretty sure he's going to pull it out right now. Man, it looks awesome. And of course, the lights flash. The police lights on top flash. Here we go. Oh, yeah.
All right. That's the base car you're looking for?
Oh! Ow! That is it, man. That thing looks awesome on the track.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that I like the ones with the lights on the top that flash as well. Fantastic. You see, these are all the details I like that all these companies come out with. Fantastic idea. Yeah.
There's lots of cars. If you want to see them, I have them. Quite a big collection. So.
Wow. Yeah, that's the one. I've been eyeballing, man. Been eyeballing that for a little while. It's so nice looking.
Yeah, there's lots of cars. You'll never run out of cars to buy. At a point, it gets to a point where you're like, I don't know, you can't look around. And then when you have too many, like I said, I built my collection so fast, I don't really get to enjoy half of it. It just sits in boxes. So, time to like slow down and take it easy and get the cars I really want and then put them on the track. And
well, that's kind of like when I 2 years ago when I started building my HO stuff back up again. You see everything you want and you just buy it as much as you can, and you barely have time to even look at it. I know Mike and Steffi are that way right now, where they're sitting on piles and piles of stuff. They just bought plywood to finally get their track down, and they are ready to do the world's biggest unboxing forever. And I tell you, I hope it's one of those late Christmas Eve or Christmas leading up to Christmas where it's snowing outside, and then they just decide to do this like freaky 3-hour unboxing kind of thing, where they just have all this odds and ends they've been collecting for the last 2 years. Mike said 2 years. Like, oh wow, dude, you've been waiting 2 years to set up your slot car stuff. Wow.
Well, I have 800 feet of Carrera track. 800 feet.
Oh my gosh,
this is ridiculous. So, but yeah,
hey, you think I could do some sort of a trade of HO slot cars for Carrera equipment?
Whatever you want. Like, just let me know what you need. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, I'm just sort of looking for some Carrera straights, and I need controllers at this point in time.
Yeah, no problems. Figure it out.
But, I
don't have any of the new controllers, but definitely the older ones. Yeah.
I can make trades and stuff. You know what I mean? So.
He's so funny. There you go. I mean, I have that too.
Here you go. You got this one?
No, I only have the one AFX. I found it on the. I went to.
Oh my gosh! You only have one, and that's it.
That's it. Well, I have the ones that come in the international, right?
That's a good one to have, though, brother. That's a good one. See, you need one of these too.
Yeah, I know. I've been but I need to talk to you because I don't know where to buy them. I'm in Canada. I don't know where to buy these things.
So you would have to find that on eBay. You probably pay about $140 for it in the package.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. But
that's the one that I'm pretty sure that you're gonna want. I'm looking for that car in the. I believe it's probably gonna have to be SCX.
Yeah.
I
think I believe Scale Auto is doing a Peugeot though.
I really I like that 908. the LMP1 cars.
I don't know if they're doing the Porsche 919 or the 908. I'm not too sure. I think they're doing one that's coming out soon. So definitely look for that. But LMP cars are a little bit harder to find. Slotted does a couple of LMP cars.
Yeah, those LMP cars look really nice.
Yeah, anyway, I could go on for days showing cars. So just stop me whenever you want.
Oh, man, eh? Yeah, well, we'll definitely have to do a night where I'll have you pull out your most famous or fancy cars, the ones that stick out in your mind, and we'll talk about them one night.
Yeah, these are no longer in production. These come from
yeah.
Japan. These are the G slots. They look like RC cars. From underneath,
wow.
This chassis expands in all different directions.
And this is called a G slot?
Yeah, it's not. They don't make it anymore. It stopped production a long time ago. I have the full set.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
I just love the liveries on these cars.
Yeah.
So they're having to pay for each one of these liveries. So the difference? I think what the difference here is, HO are trapped where they're trying to put liveries on the whole entire section. So they'll try and buy all of NASCAR. But the problem is, I think NASCAR's not allowing the drivers to do individual advertising for themselves. I think NASCAR's saying either you're using these liveries from us or you're not using them at all. Where I think Carrera, it almost seems like they've gone up to the individual teams and said, hey, we'd love to use your livery. And the racing already allows that kind of thing. Does that sound?
Yeah, so that's what they've done for this upcoming year. They've gone to, I forget the name of the team, but they're only doing deliveries
Hendricks.
pertaining to one name. Yeah, Hendricks Racing. That's correct. Yeah.
But it's always been Hendricks for the last few Auto World NASCAR sets too. It's Hendricks.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Unless it's a generic set.
That's right. And it's always for the drag strip, it's always John Force. So how does that fit in? Deliveries are good, of course. But once again, the new set just came out. John Force and Ashley Force cars again. I just see they're all over eBay again. So that's a repump of something that's been being done for years now.
You see Robert Height's daughter's racing now.
Yeah, I seen that. That's been going on for a little while now, but that's really,
yeah, she's doing pretty good.
All these girls spend all their time following dad around at the racetrack. Look at John Force. His whole entire family is females, and they're all drag racers, all of them.
Every one of them.
And they don't suck either. They're actually top of their class. So that would be a good one, Matt. The dig in a little bit to find out stuff about. You can do features on all of them. You could do, Ashley and.
Yeah. Remember, I told you I was there at that Houston Nationals. What's her name? Was it Ashley or Brittany's rookie year? I can't remember which now. I'm getting old, but it was 2008 when he was still running the Castrol car.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, I think we're going to close this down for tonight. We're rolling up on hour number 2. This would be Raul's hour number 3. We thank you for joining us tonight, Raul.
I'll leave you with one of my favorites. Okay, here you go.
Hang on a sec. There we go. Oh wow! I like that when they add to the mud.
Yeah,
that's nice.
That is sweet.
All right, these are like my favorites, where it's more realistic. So.
Yeah, I agree. I like that too. I see somebody on eBay is trying to sell a AFX GT40 that they've sprayed to look like mud for $180. So some things work, some things don't. But so I just want to start off by saying thank you to everybody who's here. Absolutely fantastic, guys. We appreciate you coming out for these conversations. Definitely want to say thank you to Raul. Definitely want to say thank you to Chris. Definitely want to say thank you to Matt. Guys, absolutely fantastic. Not only all creators, but they're members of mine, and I want to thank you guys. I definitely appreciate that. I definitely always have a stage for my creator members 100% of the time. Anybody needs a stage, please let me know, and I'll make sure that happens for you. Any last words? Let's start with Chris.
I'd like to make an announcement. Race to 100. I've got 82 subscribers. I'll at 100, I'll give away a V-Spec.
Oh, all right. So that's
a good car roll.
And you're pretty close too.
Yes.
Awesome. So Matt, parting words.
Thanks for having me and Racing's Life, and everybody keep putting all the good content out, and just put yourself out there if you have any doubts. That's it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Raul from Conquest Racing, any last words?
Well, I want to say thanks for inviting me, and I know I'm new to your world, but I'm excited. It feels like I'm just talking to other slaughterheads, so it's really awesome, and I want to thank you for calling me up, and I'll always look to do more collabs with anybody, so if anybody wants to talk to me, I'm always available.
Awesome, Ro. Thank you very much. We absolutely appreciate that. I'm sure one or two of these guys may take you up on that offer in the coming future. I would certainly suggest it. The more we can slowly start mixing, the better off. I don't want, people to feel strange, like they're in the wrong room. It would be nice if we walked into a slot car conversation, regardless of size. Much like today. Today didn't revolve around any slot car size per se. It was more of a talk about what was going on with all of us. Of course, it did revolve a little bit around the larger scale, but that's just what's been going on with our shows with my creator members. So that's where we are. So once again, for everyone in the chat box, I want to say thank you. For everyone who didn't enter into the chat box but stayed to watch, we absolutely appreciate it. From all of us here at Slot Valley Racing, guys, don't forget, get your heart racing.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep. You want to go do
Slot cars in the garage?
Yep.